So first up, I'd like to introduce Chasten Swain, our new director of strategic partnerships and programs. Chasten is not new to the state of North Carolina, but he is new to us, and we're so glad to have him. So Chasten, I'd like for you to come off of mute and show your face if you want, and just give us a little introduction.
Yeah, thank you, Felina. Good to meet everyone. My name is Chasten Swain. As Felina said, I recently joined DIT. I'm in my second month. Prior to that, I was at NC Hometown Strong, which is a rural initiative. So Felina and I have a lot in common. We've both worked with local governments and realize how important y'all are to the state and the partnerships there. So my background is in rural policy. Prior to that, I was at DNCR, brief stint at HHS, but love every aspect of the state from Murphy to Mania. So excited to get to work with you all in the future. My role here at DIT, as Lena said, is structured around strategic partnerships. So working on how to strengthen those business relationships between DIT, state agencies, but then also local government partners and other community partners. So thrilled to work with you all in the future. I hate that I can't be a part of the whole meeting. I have an offsite meeting that is in conflict, but looking forward to partnerships as we move forward. Thank you.
So great to have you, Chasten. So glad you could meet this great group in our final quarterly town hall of 2025. And Felina is spot on. We've been watching the numbers grow and increase as these great sessions have happened quarter over quarter. So I'm glad you were able to join us for our last one of 2025.
Thank you all.
Awesome. Thank you, Chasten. I appreciate it. And thank you for those words, Jamie. I appreciate it. All right. So next up, I have a few announcements for the group. And Jamie, feel free to jump in if you feel the need to do so as I give these updates. The first update I wanted to talk about was the recent engagements that we've had. Somebody letting people in for me. I hope so. I heard a lot of dings. Okay, awesome. Lots of engagement lately. The Nickel Jesus conference, let me back up some, excuse me. Tech Day was on October 15th. That was something that Cumberland County has, I think they've done it for a few years now. It's called Cumberland County Tech Day. And Cumberland County asked NCDIT to come and speak on the topic Stronger Together, Local Partnerships. And of course, we were happy to indulge. I was able to attend that event and had some great conversations and great feedback from those who attended. I think there were even some interns that were in the room as well, very attentive interns. And I hope they get some jobs because I told them to look at the state to get some jobs as well. So anyway, we had some great conversation and great feedback in that particular session. And also the Nickel Jesus conference, we participated. Jamie and I were on a panel at that conference, and we had a session. It was an NCID session, and out of that session came some other. We'll talk about it in a second. We had some other sessions formed from that session. Jamie, did you have anything you wanted to say about the Nickel Jesus conference in that session, or anything else about the conference?
Oh, I just loved it. It was my first fall conference. I've always been an attendee of the spring conference, but I really loved the fall conference. It had a little bit of a different vibe. People were a little there to connect and have deeper conversations, I felt like. So I just loved it. I don't think I'll miss another fall conference. It was great.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Jamie. And I just saw where someone put in the chat that their mic and camera are grayed out. Is that this case for everybody? Well, I don't need everybody to respond. Can anybody who's attendee, can you come off mute? Okay, so you can type in the chat if you can.
Let us know. We'll try to get that.
Okay.
Doesn't look like
They
anybody.
cannot.
See if we
Okay,
can.
we'll work on that. Right. We'll work
See
on
if we
that
can
when we have our first presentation. Okay, thank you. We'll get that fixed, you all. Just give me a second as we go through the rest of these announcements, because we do want you to be able to speak if you need to. All right. So the next, again, that was an engagement that we've had in the last month or so. The next thing is the lunch and learns. So in one of our past town halls, we talked about different lunch and learns that we could provide that would be helpful to local government agencies. And as we jotted those down and made those happen, we've had three since then. So the first one that we had was understanding and navigating NCID. Of course, that's been a hot topic, and a lot of people have had some issues with NCID. And we decided to have a session on understanding and navigating NCID. It was an excellent session. Next, we had, as you can see, we had 75 people registered for that session. And the next one we had was state contracts. That was another hot topic that people had said, we wanted to know, just tell us about these state contracts that you have. How can I save money? How can I work more effectively and efficiently? So we made it happen. We had James Pajnosh, I always say his name wrong, and Debbie Patterson came and talked all about state contracts. And we do, before I finish the last one, we do have all of these recorded. If anybody did not receive those recordings, I can happily share those with you, because those two were two excellent sessions. We rounded off in November. We had our last session, which was delegated administrators training, and you all really showed out with that one. We have 450 people registered for that session. I don't think everyone showed up, but it was good to see that interest. Okay. And so even some of the ones who registered told me that they wouldn't be there, but they said, we want to get the recording. So can I just register and make sure I get that recording? So that's what we did. We did record it, and Christine Prelude did an excellent job. She actually just went over the instructions for how to be a delegate administrator, and you all asked them. Okay, great. Sure, Jackie. You all asked some great questions, and Christy was able to answer a majority of those questions, and we did have some follow-up emails after that, and Christy has had some follow-up conversations as well, and we do have that recording too. So great engagement, and thank you all so much for letting us know what you need and letting us help you get those make it happen for you. So if you have ideas for other lunch and learns, we can talk about it in our open forum, or feel free to type it in the chat. But we want to make sure that we're giving you the types of things that you need. And also the delegate administrative training, we're actually looking at possibly a part 2 for that, or doing it again, and also adding, one of the requests was for us to add other SMEs to it, other people with other perspectives or who can assist in other areas to that training. So we're planning to do that as well. Our next Lunch and Learn will be around January sometime. So you'll see those messages come out about that. Excuse me. Next up, I just got this notification in my inbox that the Cybersecurity Symposium for tomorrow has been canceled. I'm not sure if any of you had received that word or not. I have not received anything else, but someone on our communications team just let us know that it has been canceled. I was planning to be there for 2 days, but I was looking forward to seeing some of you all there. But I'm sure, well, I shouldn't say I'm sure. Hopefully, it'll be rescheduled. If not, we'll see you all at some other event as well. Jamie, you have anything to add to any other things that I've said so far?
Well, thank you for the breaking news. I did hear about the unfortunate fire at the convention center when I was driving into the office. So I was kind of waiting to hear about the cybersecurity summit. I hate that it was canceled, but I know that we'll have some good engagement here as we maybe have another delegated administrator session. But I won't get ahead of myself, and I won't steal my own thunder. But nothing other to add. Just some great engagement we're looking forward to with some other sessions, since our summit is not going to happen this week, unfortunately.
Yeah. I really hate that. I was looking forward to that. I'm sure many of you were planning to attend as well, and looking forward to it. Excuse me. So our next speaker was unable to attend, but I didn't want anyone to have registered for this session and wanted to hear anything about ticket transfer. So Jamie, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you have any updates that you can share about ticket transfer in this case, since Japan is not able to join us on today?
Absolutely. I actually, it's almost like I might have paid him off not to show up. Ticket transfer is one of the most exciting things that I'm able to work on right now. And um, if I can pull up some screenshots here in a few minutes of some presentation materials, um, but what I will at least do is show off our amazing service portal that some of you may be familiar with. And I know it'll get some airtime here a little bit later in our presentation. Um, but I will show our service portal. And this is where we get service tickets submitted from all kinds of folks, state agency stakeholders, local government stakeholders. This is where I, as a DIT staff member and employee, this is where I submit my tickets when I need help. And so this is a very, very common place that we provide support to our stakeholders. It is not a place that the general public engages with us on. That group of stakeholders engage with us primarily through the telephone, but all of our kind of state employee, local employee customers, we definitely love to have a good experience for them as we work service tickets. And that can be an incident or a service request. An incident is kind of in our world, something's broken. And a service request is maybe I need something new, or I need to change something I have. And so that is kind of how we handle and receive tickets. And what the ticket transfer is going to do, it is so amazing. It is going to allow us to transfer a ticket that we created, that came to us in error. And I never blame the end user. If the end user called the wrong help desk or went to the wrong portal, that's on us because we did not create an intuitive experience for them to understand where to go and how to get support. So, what the ticket transfer does is it allows us to transfer the ticket. We don't have to tell the person that you've called the wrong group. We will record your issue or your request, and we're going to transfer it to the group that can fulfill it or can resolve it. And so this is an architectural integration, and we are going to be going live with it early in 2026. With DHHS, they're our partner pilot agency, and this will enable us to transfer a ticket to DHHS. DHHS could transfer a ticket right back to us. And what this does is it eliminates one of the worst experiences that we give our staff and our end users, constituents and citizens is you called the wrong place. You've got to call somewhere else and start all over. So this is my swan song. This is the worst experience I've run into, and I couldn't be more excited that we're tackling it here in early 2026. And as we do that, we want to pilot with DHHS, but we want to roll it out to any group that we have this really poor experience with, and improve that handoff, and a better customer experience for the end user. So think about ticket transfer. Put it on your wish list, and we will keep you posted and apprised of the progress with DHHS as we deploy it, and then partner with any other group that wants to implement ticket transfer with us. One thing I will add is that we do know not everybody has service now. And so the ticket transfer framework is going to do something pretty cool. It's going to be able to transfer to a structured email. So if you have a different ticketing system, or if you do use email for support requests and queue management, some groups are small enough to work that way very effectively. And so we are going to have a little bit of a more flexible or MacGyver-like integration where it will transfer the ticket in a structured email format if the partner agency does not also use ServiceNow. So that's also a little nugget I'll share. But I definitely appreciate you putting me on the spot. It is one of my favorite work streams that we have underway.
Perfect, Jamie. That's just perfect. If I can put anybody on the spot, it's Jamie. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for that. Well, interestingly enough, the next topic is yours. We wanted to talk about the collaborating for success. I thought I was sharing. I'm not sharing. Okay. Collaborating for success. One of the things that the state of North Carolina has is an area called communities of practice. I'm just getting familiar with this area. However, I'm going to let Jamie explain the communities of practice and the different ones that we have. And then we have Yelena, I'm just going to say Yelena, and her team who are here who are going to talk about one particular, which is very important for us, coming up in, very important for a lot of people, coming up in the next few months. So, Jamie, I'll let you talk with communities of practice, and then we'll introduce Yelena for the next part, and Phoebe.
You bet. And I'll just share my screen again and go straight to the webpage. Our comms team does a great job of keeping this really important page up to date. User groups and communities of practice have been a pretty active thing at DIT for a while now. I'm not quite sure when it definitely started. Anyway, I won't go into the history, but the reason we do user groups and communities of practice is because we are so fragmented and decentralized, and we all work so differently at different agencies. But we do a lot of the same things. And communities of practice help us get together, no matter how we're organized or structured. It helps us get together and connect within a shared discipline. And 9 times out of 10, the goal is to get excellent, to really get uh, performance and expertise that gets established within the community members and the community of practice or user group. So these are the ones that we have currently in place, communities of practice and user groups. You can see it's a pretty decent sized group. I'd say very respectable list of communities of practice that have evolved over the years. There is a cloud community of practice. This is one of the most exciting ones I participate in because I get to see some of the really cool things that they're doing from a cloud automation perspective, and with our cloud hosting services. But I am going to brag on. We have one called a consolidated community of practice where our business analysts, project managers, BRMs, process improvement people, we all get together. And it is by far some of my most favorite interactions, aside from the town halls and the customer engagement focused type sessions. These are powerful. And so I wanted to make sure that you all knew about these communities of practice and were able to click on them, share them around with your staff members. We would love to have some folks participate from our local government agency groups. I've met some very talented folks at the conferences and through Felina as she's gathered you all. So I know I welcome you to the communities of practice and user groups. And if you have any problems accessing any of the pages here, don't hesitate to let us know. Periodically, we might have a challenge with somebody that's in a different Microsoft tenant, but we're getting real skilled at troubleshooting that. So don't hesitate to let us know if you have a challenge. But I wanted to brag on those. And then I think one of the coolest ones is about to get talked about a little bit more by Yelena. So I'll hand it over to you, Yelena.
Good morning. It's so nice to be here and share a little bit about work which is done by digital services team. And through the years, we have been supporting state agencies, and slowly we are extending our offering to local governments. And Phoebe Simon here we'll share more about work we have done and what is available currently for local governments and what we are planning to bring to you. Thank you. Phoebe?
Thank you, Elena. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for letting us attend this meeting. I think it's really important for us to share some of the resources and assets that we have available to you. And I'm going to share my screen and start this quick presentation. Again, my name is Phoebe Simon, and I'm a web strategist with NCDIT and Digital Solutions. And I wanted to share with you today a little bit about what we do and what are some resources that we have available to you, including the Accessibility Community of Practice. I wanted to talk about the ADA compliance that's coming up. I wanted to talk a little bit about some tools that we have so that you can make sure your websites and applications meet the ADA standards, and talk about a conference that we just had that also stems around accessibility. So a lot of you may be aware or may not be aware that the compliance deadline, we had to start our awareness campaign at the beginning of last year. The deadline for compliance with Title II for state and local government websites and linked applications is set for April 24, 2026. By this date, those agencies that have populations exceeding 50,000 must ensure their websites adhere to the ADA to make sure that their web content is accessible to everyone. Real quick, I'll stop here. I am going to be sharing this presentation with Felina so she can distribute it, because there are some links in here that you might want to access. And I think Elena is going to try to include some of the links in the chat to the blue areas that I have linked here. The good news for a lot of you here is that for local agencies and counties and cities with populations under 50,000, you have an extra year to get your websites and applications up to accessibility standards by the DOJ, which is a deadline of April 2027. So that's a little bit of a breather for you. We, as in our department, have tried to provide a ton of resources for local governments. Website owners, or people who build your websites, use various platforms or content management systems to get a website built. So providing resources to everyone can be tricky, can be difficult. However, there are some standards that need to be met across the board, regardless of how your website is built, that need to be made accessible. Those platforms need to be accessible. Content creators, those who add any information to a website, also need to ensure that every added piece of content is also accessible. So the resources that we have for everyone try to take that into account, that there are some people who are very savvy at accessibility guidelines, and there's some people who have no clue what I'm even talking about when I say accessibility. So we've created this dedicated section on the DIT website. It provides links to some accessibility training, online resources, anything and everything to guide people on the accessibility standards, some of the best practices, checklists you can use for web content. So it's a great starting point, launching point for you if you're just kind of dipping your toe into the accessibility pool. So I think Elena is going to put the link to that page in the chat. It's also in this presentation. But we've tried really hard to make sure it's a holistic approach to accessibility. And Jamie and Felina were talking about communities of practice. We have an accessibility community of practice that was developed, I think, a year ago. I think we're about to, maybe a little bit longer. I'm not sure quite how long, but I think it's coming up on a year. And this is a community that works together to share tips, best practices, and ideas on how to meet these DOJ standards. We have monthly meetings with guest speakers. We talk about use case scenarios. We talk about the latest news from WCAG. We discuss content creation, document accessibility, color contrast, alt text, all of these little pieces and parts that are so critical to ensuring your applications and websites meet accessibility standards. Everyone is welcome to join. I've included a link on how you can sign up to become a part of it and get notifications about our meetings and participate. We'd love to see you there. We also offer a website quality and accessibility monitoring service, and local governments have access to DubBot. This is a software as a service based monitoring service. The caveats are you must have an NCID to access the dashboard of your website, but DubBot will crawl your website and let you know if there are any accessibility issues evident that need to be fixed before that deadline. It also identifies misspelled words. It lets you know how many PDFs are on your website that are linked from your website. Like if there's a web page that you have that links out to a PDF, it'll show you where that is, because I hate to break it to you, PDFs also have to be accessible. And then it also identifies broken links. Now, it will only crawl published pages on your website. So if you have unpublished PDFs, you won't see those. But the two caveats are you must have an NCID, and it must be a public-facing website. We won't crawl anything that has PII or PHI for security reasons. We provide online training videos to get up to speed on how to use DubBot. DubBot itself has reference guides and tutorials on accessibility, various accessibility issues. So if you're not quite sure why that doesn't meet accessibility standards or why DubBot has flagged a particular component as not meeting the standard, they have definitions for what it means and how to fix it. They also have humans who you can ask questions to if you're confused about something. And the people that work at DubBot are accessibility experts. They are also development experts. So they can even go into the code and say, okay, you need to put some sort of iframe title here because your iframe is not meeting accessibility standards. They're a wonderful resource, and we'd be delighted to crawl your websites if you want to know how well they are meeting the DOJ standards. And I've included a link to the ServiceNow ticket that maybe Elena can also put in the chat. So that just goes back also to what Jamie was talking about with ticketing. We have a lot of ServiceNow tickets that come to us. So that's a link to that.
Hi, Phoebe. There was
Yes.
a question. Is there a cost for you to do that?
No, DubBot is free for every state agency and local government to use. So it's a wonderful resource. Thanks. Great question. Just a couple weeks ago, we had the We Are NC Gov conference. We're trying to have an annual conference that talks about everything that we do. This year, our conference was themed We Are Accessible because that's just a hot topic right now. We had over 100 people attend in person with about 180 who viewed online, and we were lucky enough to get NCDIT's CIO and Secretary, Tina Piccioni, who opened the conference, and I just loved this quote by her. The way she started the whole conference is, let me be clear, accessibility should not be an option. It should not be an afterthought. It should be embedded and ingrained in every single thing we do. So we're pretty passionate right now about accessibility, and we hope that by you guys starting now and getting ahead of it, you can really start to make your website's accessible and you aren't scrambling at the end to try to meet the deadline in 2027. So our half-day We Are Accessible event included an expert panel on accessibility. We had people from the audience ask questions of the panel. We had a presentation on AI and accessibility, web governance, development for keyboard access. So those who can't use a mouse but need to navigate a website by keyboard, it was a really cool presentation. And also vendor procurement considerations, ensuring that any service that you hire, making sure that they are also ensuring accessibility for any app that they build for you. We have a link to the video here, and we also have a section on our website where you can jump to a specific presentation if you would like to watch it. And I believe that's it for me. I know that was a lot, drinking by the fire hose, but we have a lot to share and we're really excited to be able to present to you today. So thank you very much.
Phoebe, thank you so much. I attended that We Are NC conference, and I attended it virtually. Thank you, Elena, and whoever else was instrumental in getting that link to us so that we can watch it from home. But it also allowed more local government agencies to attend and be a part. So we really appreciate you all making that happen. I enjoyed it. That was my first one. And I'm looking forward to many more. So thank you, Elena. Thank you, Phoebe, for that presentation. We appreciate it. Are there any questions for Phoebe? You can feel free to come off mute and ask any questions or in the chat. All right. Well, thank you, Phoebe, and everybody feel free to join that community of practice that Phoebe talked about. I joined it a few weeks ago and attended my first meeting, I think it was last week. Thank you so much, Phoebe. All right. So our next topic is business assessment survey. Jamie and Selena. I'll start off, and Jamie has much more information to share than I do. And I do want to make a correction of something that I said earlier. I said that we had only been doing the town halls for 1 year. We've only been doing them consistently for 1 year. We have, I think there were town halls, maybe 1 or 2 before I started. And then consistently, we started in December of last year. I just wanted to make that correction. And the business assessment survey, we did our first assessment survey back in December of 2024. And we wanted to get year-over-year comparison, of course, because that makes a difference for us to know how we're doing, where, the rate that we're going. We had a few people give us responses last year. And here we are again this year doing another assessment survey for both state and local government. That survey should be coming out soon, but I'll let Jamie take over from here to talk more about the assessment survey. Jamie?
Sure. And the assessment survey is really a diagnostic tool that we've developed. I'm going to go to our main page. We ran this last year for the first time with the local government stakeholders, and we got some really great feedback. We want to say thank you for taking the time to take the survey last year. One of the massive improvements is the length of the survey. We have dramatically shortened it. It is truly a brief survey this year. So I want to thank all the folks that gave us feedback last year, and also let you know that it is 25% shorter. We were very, very diligent in trying to streamline the process. So it really should just take a few minutes of your time. And we ask a lot of questions about different things in this business value assessment. And there's a lot of yellow here. Yellow is kind of so. So we're definitely glad that we don't see a lot of red, but we do see a lot of yellow. So we're just excited to run this again. And Felina mentioned we're going to be able to get some year-over-year feedback from this audience, and we'll also be getting it from our state agencies as well. But I did want to go over to this area, which is just called the text questions. But this is where you all have given us very, very specific feedback, and we can hear the voice of the customer. And some of the feedback here is what Felina has listened to all year long, and created places where we can engage better with you all, and communicate more effectively. So some of these yellow things here, they may not be green this year, but I definitely appreciate what you shared last year with us. And I want to thank Felina for all the great work that she's done to really respond to the voice of the customer we got last year. So we're about to run it again. As Felina mentioned, we're going to keep the survey open for about 6 weeks. It should be friendly for both IT or business stakeholder. We plan to send it out to the people that pay those Net Plus invoices, and go into that solution. We want to hear from the end users. So as you get the survey invitation, we definitely appreciate your feedback, and would appreciate any feedback that you want to pass the link on to for stakeholders in your agency that would give us some good food for thought, so we can add more value and meet the needs of this stakeholder group more effectively. So I appreciate the time to mention the assessment, and we will be giving you all some insight into what we learned. That was one of the things that we did last year, and I definitely plan, as we gather again for the next quarterly town hall, is to show you what we learned again from you all as we get your feedback. And this definitely helps us drive improvements throughout the year. It helps us know where to focus. So thank you for giving us some time to talk about this assessment, and we hope to hear from you, and look forward to seeing what we can do to get to some green numbers here soon. Thank you,
Perfect. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you, Jamie. Anyone have any questions for Jamie or I about the business assessment? Okay. Perfect. We will move on to our next topic. Mick DeGrazia will be giving us some information about NCDIT, what we have going on now, what we have going on in the future. And Nick, I will turn it over to you. If you want to share your screen, feel free to do so.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Mick.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. I appreciate being here on this beautiful, rainy North Carolina morning, or as they say in the tropical areas, the liquid sunshine. So it has a little bit of a better ring to it. I was excited since a couple of months ago when Felina asked me to be here, and so really have just been excited to meet you all and just come and give this overview. Thank you for having me, and Felina, thank you so much for the invitation. I appreciate being here today. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of our services that are available to you all in your roles. I'm not going to go through all of the services that we have to offer, but I would like to give you an idea of some of the ones that I think are maybe new and changing, and some of the updates that you can expect with some of them, as well as some of the benefits that you may not know about and can take advantage of almost immediately. Just by means of introduction, my name again is Mick DeGrazia, and I am the Senior Director of Enterprise Operations here for NCDIT. I've been at DIT for about 3 years, a little over 3 years, maybe 3.5 now, and but almost 30 years in IT in total. So I've had various roles in higher education and healthcare. It's been a real pleasure to be here at DIT. Now, I know you all have some experience with DIT, some more positive than others. I'll put it that way. My goal in providing services is that we provide the best possible service, world-class service, if you will. And I know we don't always achieve that in enterprise operations at DIT, but that's the goal. We have a lot of really hardworking people that are here to provide service. Our teams are small, but I would love to hear your feedback on how we could be doing better. So if you're a service consumer or thinking about it, or were in the past and no longer, we're all friends here. I came here, and I'm doing this so that you get to know me, and you know that you can reach out to me at any time, because my goal is to make us as the best possible service provider that we can be. And I know that we don't always achieve that, but as you would expect, it's a constant improvement opportunity, continual process improvement cycle. So I won't read through the bio. That's not really what's important here. Enterprise operations is we provide IT services to state agencies and local governments and even educational institutions. Our role is to provide really things like enterprise applications, networking and telephony services, identity management, as you all may know. My guess is that all of you are consuming at least one of the services in our portfolio. One of the things that is important to keep in mind is that we are funded through service rates. And so while that's not my favorite aspect of the job, is thinking about service rates and collecting revenue, that is an aspect of our reality. But one thing to keep in mind, though, is that our rates are fully loaded. And so what that means is that, when we're providing things like telephony services, it's not just the Cisco software or the Teams software or whatever it may be that you're consuming that through. We're actually providing end-to-end support, as well as, vendor management, contracts management, et cetera. And we take that role very seriously. I'm in the middle now of negotiating a couple of contracts where we really push on our vendors to make sure that we get the best price for the state. Ideally, the way this should work is that as we consume more from our vendors, we should realize economies of scale. We should get better pricing. So the more that we can sort of join our forces together and consume the same license agreements or same services from our vendors, the more weight and leverage we have to go back to them and actually demand better pricing and services. So hopefully that also is an idea or an incentive for you to think about the services that we offer, and another aspect of additional value. But we do provide that end-to-end service, and the idea there is that you don't have to think about running your own telephone network or email infrastructure or whatever it may be. We can actually provide that for you, and think about all of the logistics, and you can simply just consume it. A little bit of what I'll talk about today overlaps with what Elena and Phoebe were talking about just a moment ago. But I'll give you what I want to really spend the most of our time on today is the services that we offer, and some of the ones that I would like to highlight that I think you can take advantage of today. So this is a list of our services. You can actually find all of our services listed at this webpage, itservices.nc.gov. What we've done is we've broken out here all of the services that are available for local government. And so you can see here there's quite a bit. There is legislation in place that says that DIT cannot charge local government different price for services than we charge state government. So just keep that in mind. But what I will say is that there are several things on this list that are free services. That if you're not taking advantage of them, you can take advantage of them today. So looking at some of the things that we do have, this is not one of our free services, but this is a wonderful service that I think I'm hoping that more of you can consider and think of this as an opportunity. We provide 2 data centers, one in Raleigh and one on the western part of the state in Forest City. There's about a 225-mile geographic distance between both of those data centers, which gives you some amount of resilience when it comes to things like weather events or other localized disasters or other issues, interruptions, disruptions, etc. So as you think about where you're running your services out of, your IT services out of, these data centers provide you with a lot of value where, again, you don't have to think about securing your equipment, cooling it, powering it, all of the things that come along with running data center services and data center hosting services. We will take care of that for you. We'll provide you with the space. We can even provide you with remote hands, which means that if you want your stuff in the western part of the state, and you need something to be rebooted or rehomed or something like that, we can do those activities for you. We do have a lot of security features built into these services, like video surveillance and multi-factor authentication as you're entering and leaving the building. And so, this is something that we think of first because we do have compliance requirements and want to make sure that we're meeting those requirements. We do have conditioned power, UPS and generator supported, so that if we lose utility power, we have continuity of service and have 27,000 gallons of fuel for our generators at both locations, which would take us, I want to say 48 hours of additional service uptime. So, worst case scenario, if we lose utility power in either region, well, we have the generators that we can fire up at both locations. Lots of other features there that make power continuous, like automatic transfer switching, etc. So again, just looking at resiliency and availability of services. Now, here's the other thing that I wanted to just mention is that if you don't want to run your services out of these data centers, we can also think about things like providing you with another place to store your backup data. So as an example, we run Rubrik backup and recovery software. And if any of you are running that, we can talk about having a situation where we can provide a replication target for you in one or both of the data centers so that in the event of, a total disaster, you'll have the ability to have your data in a safe location. So we can talk about other options like that. If there's anything creative that you want to get to that's not necessarily a standard service that we offer, I'd love for you to reach out and let me know how we might be able to provide more value to you. With that said, we are making constant improvements, capital improvements in our data centers. We're actually upgrading our UPS capacity. And one of the things that's happening this weekend is we're actually replacing UPS systems out in the western part of the western data center. This helps, of course, provide better capacity and stability. Fire suppression, as you might expect over the years, has changed in terms of the requirements and life safety issues that come along with using different methods and chemicals. We want to make sure that we're up to date with those standards. Power is a big factor. And I will tell you today that while we probably can't compete with the likes of maybe Google or Facebook or some of the other hyperscalers, we do have a lot of excess power capacity where if you're thinking about AI projects, for instance, we have the ability to scale today to provide you with service that will allow you to potentially leverage some GPU or other power-intensive applications. So again, I'd love for you to think about this as a means to either run your workload and have built-in resiliency from our infrastructure. We can, of course, it requires some application architecture, but we can have sort of active services running so that you can make sure that you have no downtime, if there's any kind of disruption in one area. Both of the data centers, of course, are on the state network, and so we have the ability to do those types of things. Or as I mentioned, if you're just thinking about disaster recovery and want a safe place to stash your data, your backup data, we can think about that as well. So hopefully that's an exciting option for you and something that we'd love to offer you if that's of interest. So from another hosting service, one of the things I wanted to highlight is our database services. Our database services over the years have become more modernized, more efficient. We're actually moving, which I'll get to in a moment, but we're moving to an Oracle Exadata Cloud at Customer Service, which puts us more into a consumption-based model. And why that's important is because we have moved off of traditional Oracle perpetual-based licensing to a more consumption-based licensing. And we expect that to generate around $2 million worth of savings for our customers over the next 4 years. And so that's something that we're continually looking for, is those types of efficiencies and those types of, managing our vendors to get the best price possible. It was, I want to say maybe 12 or 18 months ago that we did something similar with our MS SQL infrastructure. It took us approximately 18 months to actually consolidate onto a single platform. But because of licensing that is more core-based licensing, that allowed us to consolidate our license model and provide substantial savings to our database customers. Again, this is the type of service where if you have the need for database support, we'll provide all of it. We'll provide the infrastructure part as well as the backups and disaster recovery. We have a team of 7 FTEs that are providing support for, as you can see here, almost over 300 databases, both on the cloud and on premises in the data centers that I just mentioned in eastern and western part of the state. Great team. It's always looking again to move the needle on modernization and consolidation, efficiencies, and cost control. I mentioned that we are moving to Exadata Cloud at Customer. That's a big move for us. That is actually database-specific hardware. That's an engineered system specific to Oracle infrastructure that allows us to get the most performance we possibly can for out of our systems to support database. So if you have things like online transaction processing systems, Oracle Exadata is a wonderful platform for you to think about using for those types of transactions. We're also, of course, we patch and keep things modern. So we're looking at moving our MS SQL infrastructure up to the latest as well. So again, if you're thinking about this, we sort of take all of the logistics and all of the patching and all of the basic pieces of database management and administration, and we take that on for you. We provide it at a single cost, and that, like I mentioned, that's a fully loaded cost that includes all of those services. I know some of you are using some of our VPN or firewall services, but I did want to mention that this is another opportunity for you to take advantage of, really from a firewall perspective, really just about anywhere you want to be on the spectrum. Where if you wanted us to run your firewall for you, we'll think about every component of it. Placing the hardware, managing, patching, and updating the configuration on it, to managing the firewall policy itself. Generally speaking, what we do is we have a security contact at the agency, at your local agency, and if that person requires or requests rather a security policy change, we'll implement that in a controlled fashion during our change, using our change process. We manage the software, so the hardware, so as it becomes end of life, you don't have to think about replacing another big set of hardware. We'll take care of all of that for you. Includes monitoring and making sure that things are working properly with 24/7 coverage, so that if things aren't working properly, our team is there to support it. If you wanted to do a little bit more of the maintenance or the configuration yourself, we can also support that as well. But we like to think about this, the value that we provide here as being a fully managed service, so that you don't really need to think about managing a VPN, managing a firewall. Those are things that we can do for you. This also ties into NetID authentication. So again, keeping things secure. And one of the reasons that's really important is because as you have folks come on to your agency or leave your agency, depart your agency, disabling or enabling an NCID is the one place where you can control access to important things such as your network through the VPN. One thing that we are working on is moving away from the traditional SSL VPN technology to a zero trust network access, which looks like a always on type VPN. And what's really interesting about that is it allows you to work from anywhere and configure different type of network policy. So if you're at home, we may trust that network a little bit more. You may trust that network a little bit more. We would configure this according to your needs. If you're working at a coffee shop or airport location, then maybe we trust that less. And what that means is that you can still authenticate to certain applications, but maybe you don't get access to secure areas of the network. It really actually is that granular in terms of assessing your posture. Is your computer up to date with patches? Are all the right security services running? Are you logged in with the right account? And assessing that on a continual basis to make sure that nothing's changed and that you should have the access that's required. Now, one of the more compelling and interesting things about this is today, we have the ability to block certain sites from state computers, and we do that when computers are on the network. So, for instance, there was a directive, a legislative directive, I want to say a year and a half ago, to block TikTok and Telegram from state devices. And while we can do that when computers are on the network, we have very little control of that when computers are off network. This would allow you to do that type of thing and block for certain content types as well, so that we can actually comply with laws, or maybe you have different compliance requirements. Maybe you just have different agency requirements where you want to make sure that computers are used simply for work purposes and not for other reasons. This is a project that's just getting off the ground, so we're just moving this out now. We're actually going to deploy this to NCDIT employees starting in December this month, and then continually to roll that out. We've had some agencies express interest in this. We're going to bundle this along with our enterprise endpoint management service, so that as folks subscribe to that service, they'll simply get this service, which is another benefit, hopefully, of the endpoint management service. And what again that will allow you to do is access file shares, printers if necessary, things on your network while you're anywhere in the world with this always-on VPN connection. So our approach is going to be to start with DIT, work out some of the bugs there, and then hopefully in the first quarter of 2026 calendar year, start with rolling it out to agencies that are interested, along with our enterprise endpoint management service. Web application firewall is another is a service that comes at no cost to local governments. And if you're not considering this, or you haven't considered it yet, I highly urge you to think about that today. This is something that is paid for through our ESRMO, our Enterprise State Risk Management Office. And it is something that helps protect your public-facing web infrastructure. So, I talked a moment ago about firewall services, which protects your actual network, the computers and the services on your network, like file services, printers, laptops and desktops, etc. A web application firewall is really a layer 7 protection scheme, which is really where users are interacting with your web service. So as you know, there are websites that are vulnerable to things like SQL injections, where if you type in the right combination of input, you can actually get a lot of information from online databases, maybe even deface websites, gain access to web servers, etc. This stands in front of those services and actually prevents those types of attacks, as well as doing things like preventing you from distributed denial of service attacks, bots from around the world. You can do things like say, we don't allow connections from certain geographical regions. Rate limiting, so that again, prevent you from experiencing denial of service attacks, or even just consuming important resources on your web server itself. We can also do use CAPTCHA so that you can verify that folks that are visiting your website, filling out forms, requesting information, that those are actual real people behind those connections. Again, just not allowing anything to waste your resources or attack your websites. So again, really great service. We have a really small team that's providing this, but they're really very enthusiastic about getting you set up. I would love for you to think about using this service if you haven't already. We are, again, sort of enhancing these services as we go along. Our goal at Enterprise Operations really is to not just provide services, but always to think about what's the next step and the roadmap. How do we improve these services? How do we get better cost? How do we get better value from the services that we have? And the more that we work with ESRMO, the more we can all collectively benefit from understanding what attacks that we should be on the lookout for. Our web application firewall has ability to do a lot of different types of blocking, and some agencies are just interested in basic protections, while some are interested in more advanced techniques that they're blocking. By sharing information and getting visibility, we have the ability to protect each other by knowing what attacks are actually targeted at North Carolina agencies. We're actually looking at providing expanded coverage, constantly working with our provider, who is Cloudflare. We have a contract with them to do all state and local government organizations. We are working with them on a K through 12 understanding of how they fit into this as well. And our goal would be to actually allow this for public colleges and universities as well. So continually expanding our footprint so that more and more agencies and institutions can take advantage of this great service. I'm sure.
I'm sorry, Nick. Really quick question. I'm sorry. Did you say that it is already including schools or getting ready to include schools?
It is not. This is something that we're working on now. So this is a contractual thing with Cloudflare that we're working on. So if this is something that you are working in a college or university and it's something that you're interested in getting from us, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. That gives us a little bit more ammunition to go back to our vendor and negotiate that contract.
Great, Nick, because someone just asked in the chat about charter schools, so that's great feedback. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. I can't see the chat. I appreciate that. And so Jamie had mentioned earlier about community of practices. One of the benefits that we get from talking together as a community is that we learn from each other. We like to think at DIT that we provide some amount of value and expertise, but we don't know everything. There are a lot of you that are doing things that are more cutting edge or more targeted towards specific outcomes. And the more we can get together and talk and share information, the better we all will be. So we want to enable this as well with our web application firewall service. So you can look for that coming up as well. I'm sure you're all familiar with Cloudflare as you browse the internet and you come across websites. We all have the "Are you human?" checkbox, right? That sort of thing. That means that Cloudflare is sitting in front of that service, and that's the type of thing that we're offering here to provide that protection to state public infrastructure. So I don't know how much time we have, Felina, but I'm just about. I have probably 6 more slides, so hopefully that's okay.
That's fine, Nick. You're good, Nick. You're good.
All right, great. Thank you so much. I had mentioned earlier, Phoebe and Elena talked a little bit about some accessibility and website quality monitoring. This is just a wonderful service. And we have a team of really enthusiastic and dedicated individuals who are really want to make sure that we enable accessibility for the information that the state provides to its constituents. So I highly urge you to think about this. Again, this comes at no cost. So this is something that you can take advantage of almost immediately. We'd love to have you. And again, the more that we all work together on utilizing these services, the more we learn about how to do things in a more accessible way. And so I highly urge you to think about taking advantage of this service. While we're thinking about how to offer things like digital commons to local government, at the right cost. We're not in a position to be able to do that today, but we can offer these services to you today. So please think about how this might fit into your again, your public facing infrastructure. Think of this along with the WAF services really helps shore up the state's trusted public information. Again, looking at some enhancements that are coming. I know that Phoebe covered this, so I won't spend too much time here. But I just wanted to reiterate that this is just such a great service, and we'd love to get you part of it. So please reach out to us if you're interested. Another thing that comes at no cost to you is Tanium. And Tanium is a set of tools that allows you to manage and inspect your endpoints. So let's say you have, I don't know, 25, 50, 150 laptops that are associated with your agency. You have the ability to manage them from a central console and get almost real-time data from them. So I don't know if you've all been briefed on Tanium, but again, another amazing set of tools that gives you near real-time visibility and natural language where you can say something like, I'd like to know how many Windows 11 systems we have available, and you'll get almost an immediate answer. You can do things like update software, update patching on the device itself. This is really incredible. It requires no infrastructure on your behalf. We'll provide you with the ability, we'll onboard you and get you sort of set up. It does require an agent on your computer, on all of your endpoints that you manage. We manage our servers and our endpoints, our desktops and laptops utilizing Tanium. Our team has actually switched almost entirely to managing our patches, our system patching using Tanium. We no longer have to buy a third-party product to manage patching. So if you're spending dollars on whether it's it used to be SCCM from Microsoft, or I can't think of the other product offhand now. There was another product that really is in place just to do patching. You no longer need to do that. You can actually get Tanium at no cost and actually manage your endpoint patching and third-party software updates, and actually recover those dollars, put those back into your budget, and use them for something else. Again, highly recommend that if you're not using Tanium or haven't thought about it, that you really think about it and contact us if you're interested. One of the things that we want to do is we want to utilize Tanium to enrich our CMDB. So today we don't have a robust CMDB. That is something that we're working on, but we expect that Tanium is going to be a real-time agent running that can provide us with information and enrich that data so that we know the configuration and the state of all of our endpoints and servers. So definitely something that you can do as well. We have a connection that we're building with ServiceNow in order to accomplish that. And again, some of the things that are coming from Tanium, as you can expect, Tanium is looking to implement AI, just like all these other vendors are. But the idea of providing you with more dashboards and more visibility so that you've got an integrated sort of real-time view of your environment, regardless of where systems are. If they're on your network or if they're off your network, you'll have the ability to manage them using Tanium. I think, yes. Okay, so the last thing I just wanted to mention is how do you, I mentioned a lot of things today, and how do you let us know that you're interested in these things? We do, I mentioned earlier, the service catalog, which is forward-facing. You don't need authentication to see it. We do have the service portal if you have access to that. I'm not sure who does and who doesn't, but I do provide that here as well if you want to go in there and request services. But ultimately, all you really need to do is ask. I mentioned before, now that you've had me here, we're friends, right? So you can reach out anytime. and I'm happy to field your questions. I know Felina is as well. I'm sure Jamie is as well, and probably even Chasten. So if you know someone else at DIT, just reach out and ask the question. We'll get you to the right place, and we'll make sure that we get your question answered, or try to get you working on consumption and provisioning of these services. So I hope that was helpful. I don't know if you all have any questions, but I'm happy to take them now. Like I said, we have a lot of services in our portfolio. I just wanted to highlight a couple or a few maybe that were, I think, really kind of exciting opportunities, and a lot of them come at no cost to you. And I would highly urge that you think about utilizing them and potentially, pointing your budget elsewhere so that you can save some dollars and put it towards other initiatives. So any questions that I can answer?
Any questions? If not, some people did put them in the chat. I think we asked those questions already. Again, reach out to Nick, me, or Jamie at any point. If you have any questions, we'll try our best to get back with you as soon as possible. As you can see, Nick has his information on the screen. His phone number and name, and of course his title is on the screen. Let me know if you don't get this information and you want to reach out to Nick. Let me know, and I'll get you in touch with Nick.
Yes,
Nick, I
please.
keep saying Nick. Mick.
It's quite all right.
Mick,
I can assure you I've been called much worse, so that's not a problem. So, but
Nick,
even if I'm really good at responding to email too. So if you want to reach out via email, please do. I'm happy to field questions, whatever you may have. So thank you all very much. I appreciate you having me today. Thank you so much, Felina.
Yeah.
If we do
this
that
has been
way,
great.
yeah.
Somebody has something to say. I apologize. Maybe somebody's not on mute. But Mick, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for all of the information that you shared. It was very, very helpful. I don't care how much I listen to it. I'm still learning stuff. 2 years in, I'm still learning. So I appreciate it. Jamie, you have any comments?
Okay.
We'll have to do it again.
Oh, absolutely.
That is crazy.
Definitely. It's great to see some of the great things in our portfolio spotlighted periodically. And I've gone to that URL that we keep mentioning, itservices.nc.gov. And so you do get a sense of some of those great hosting services that Mick spotlighted today. And so I'll share that as we do open forums, but I would love to hear what is on everyone's mind if they have any questions or comments.
And kudos to Jamie for all the work that went into that IT services webpage. I know that took a lot of work to standardize over the last couple of years, but it's looking really wonderful.
Well, you're going to make me spill the beans. We have some exciting stuff coming early next year, but the services are pretty well described here. And then you can get a quick link to request the service from the service portal. So we've tried to make it pretty seamless and easy, but if you all aren't connected with us on our service portal, we would love to get you set up and connected so you can request any of this engagement. And I am going to spotlight a little button we've added here recently. It's a way to tell us what you think any time of the day or night. We have put a little button here so we can get feedback whenever you might have some to share with us. So I'll spotlight the tell us what you think button while we're here on the portal homepage.
Perfect. Thank you, Jamie. Perfect.
Are some really exciting things coming to this early next year, but we'll save that for next time. But it is great to meet with you and close the year out with some good collaboration.
Great. Thank you again, Jamie. I appreciate that. Thank you again, Mick. And this brings us to the end of our meeting on today. We still have about 13 minutes left. And this is our open forum. Please feel free to come off mute and ask any questions that you may have about anything that was presented today, or any additional topics that you may have that you wanted to talk about.
Does anybody have any information on, I don't know if this is the right form or maybe the right department, about the NT plus, the services changing for the phone systems?
We do have a lot of activity going on as part of a project that we call the TDM Sunset Project. And so there is a lot of migration from some legacy copper-based technologies to more modernized technologies. Does this sound like sort of what you might be referring to?
So I'm referring to, because we got a notification, we get the bills from, for the phones. And we heard that they'll be changing. So I don't know if that's your department or is that someone else's department?
It's definitely our department. We'll find out which department to connect you with. Do you know what kind of telephone it is? It is a cell phone or a landline in an office?
Right. So we have landline, and I know that someone from AT&T reached out to our thing. The thing is, we have we need fire, but those need to be landlines. They cannot be internet based. So that's that was kind of the question we had for AT&T. They want to do everything internet based, and for fire, and we can't have that. We need to have a landline. So we're trying to figure that part out. Do you have any information on that?
Absolutely. So these are the emergency lines
Right,
that are
emergency
part of
lines,
that big
yes.
project. So you're at Quest Academy for follow-up?
Yes, Quest. Yes.
Cool. We will definitely follow up. That is very much close to the finish line. It's been a project that's been underway. So if anyone does need some assistance as we're working through the final phases of this TDM sunset on any of your lines, definitely reach out to Felina and I, and we'll help work with the project team to get you connected and progressing on some of that good work.
So do you have a landline company, or do we have to? I mean, not many people have landlines. Right now we have landlines. So
we have solution alternatives for everything. So pretty much everything that folks have, we have some alternatives that you can consider. And then obviously local government groups can kind of partner and do things a little bit more autonomously. But we do have a lot of options that we've developed for alternatives. So I think that's probably what we need to get to you to consider. And
yes.
Yeah,
that would be wonderful. Yeah, if you can alternative for the emergency lines. That's our biggest hiccup was emergency lines.
Yeah, you got it. We'll definitely do that, Jackie.
Okay, thank you so much, Jamie.
Mick, were you going to add something to the conversation?
No, just as necessary. I think Jamie had it covered. I guess what I would say is that, we have lots of different providers of telephony services at the state. They're all getting away from the copper-based connections, the traditional telephone connections. So we've started with AT&T because they were the first ones to announce that they were no longer supporting this. But if you are on, the legacy telephone system from Lumen or other providers, we expect that over the coming year or so, maybe the next couple of years, all of the providers are going to follow suit. So maybe just want to think about getting ahead of that if possible.
Yeah, I guess she's just thinking say we lose internet, which we have a hurricane, something happens and we're stuck in the building and we can't call emergency services, what do you do?
Yes, absolutely.
Then you're liable.
We do have some services that allow for a cellular connection or a satellite connection, but I would say that our team is prepared to talk through the options with you, because that is a common thing, right? We have elevators and we have other emergency systems that do require.
So Jennifer is going to be heading that up in our school, but she couldn't attend, so I wanted to attend the meeting, and it's great information about the everything going on, and there's a lot of information. I think our school at the Dubbot and stuff could be something they could use. So I'll have to talk to our administrator about that. But Jennifer will be kind of filling in my shoes. So I just wanted to step in today, that way I could give her that information.
Yeah.
But thank you. I greatly appreciate it. We're trying to figure all those things out.
Yeah,
and everything y'all do. I mean, I do tickets, the heat tickets, but we just never know exactly all the stuff you do. I usually just email John about anything.
Thank you, Jackie. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
All right, no problem. Okay, Ernest, you had a question?
Yeah, just to be clear, the Government Technology Conference, the symposium for tomorrow, when I look on that site, they say they're still waiting for information or to update us on information, but you said it has been canceled?
The communications team sent an email to us right before, sent a message right before I got on this call saying that it was canceled. But I have not seen anything official come across yet, but he is the main communications person. So maybe they just haven't sent out any information yet. There was a fire there yesterday. I don't know if you all knew that or not. There was a fire at the Raleigh Convention Center yesterday, which would make sense that it is canceled. But that was
I would
what I heard.
definitely would probably refer to the official report. That is kind of our internal official communication point of contact, but who knows? Maybe they'll pivot. But I definitely that's our internal update. It sounds like that we've heard it would be canceled, but definitely I'm sure they'll be updating the website to make it official, and we'll all be for sure.
Yeah, I was just looking for something to attach to my trip request or my travel request, but I haven't seen anything.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
No
Right,
doubt.
right. When we get official information, we'll make sure we share that out. Official notification from communications team. Ernest will make sure we share that out as well.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll keep
Any
you all
other
posted on
questions?
the WAF negotiations and contracts, since there is so much interest with the local educational entities. So as soon as there's any new information on that front, we'll make sure that gets to this audience as well.
We have 6 minutes left. Any other oh, Jackie, I'll reach out to you and give you Jamie and I's contact information. Thank you for asking. I don't mind typing it in the chat here as well. Any other questions from anyone else? Well, I have certainly enjoyed the conversation on today. I'm so glad that you all were able to join us today. I hope that you were able to get something important out of this conversation. Again, my information is in the chat. I did not introduce myself, but most of you know me, Felina Harris, Business Relationship Manager. But feel free to reach out to me, to Jamie, to Mick, or anyone else who presented on today. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. As always, after the meeting is over, I like to send an email out to summarize the meeting with presentations from all of our speakers, as well as any links that are mentioned during the conversation and during the meeting. I will get that all sent out to you within a day or so. I usually try to do it within a day or so. It just depends on how fast I get the information that I need to put into the email. Again, thank you so much. As you can see on the screen, our next meeting is March 5th at 9:30 a.m. This week, as you can see, we had to pivot. We usually do it on the first Thursday. The symposium was going to take up our Thursday, so we decided to move it to Tuesday. But if we do not have the symposium as of right now, it appears that it's canceled. But if it happens to happen, I will see some of you all tomorrow. But if it's postponed, I'll see you at that time. Otherwise, we'll see you on March 5th at 9:30 a.m. Thank you all so much, and we appreciate you. Have a great day as well, Jackie. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.